The sun was rising over a quiet valley where a small village stood near wide open fields. In one of those fields lived a little donkey named Milo. He was small, soft brown, with long ears that always pointed straight up whenever he heard a new sound. Milo was known as a gentle donkey who never caused trouble. He liked to follow the breeze, listen to birds, and watch clouds move slowly across the sky. But even with all this beauty around him, Milo felt lonely every day. Milo lived with a farmer named Rohan. Rohan was not a bad man, but he was not very patient either. He worked from sunrise to sunset, and he often expected Milo to do more than the little donkey could handle. Milo tried hard to please him, but he was small and weak. Sometimes Rohan would become upset when Milo could not pull a heavy cart or walk fast enough. Rohan never meant to scare him, but his loud voice and quick steps made Milo nervous. The little donkey always hoped for a kinder touch or a calm word, but days passed and nothing changed. The field around Milo was beautiful, yet it felt empty to him. Other animals spent time with their families, but Milo had no one close. He would watch cows walk together, horses eat in groups, and birds rest in pairs on tree branches. Milo only wanted a friend who understood him. Every night, he would look at the stars and imagine someone gentle petting his head or giving him warm food with a smile. He dreamed of a place where fear did not follow him. One morning, something felt different in the air. Milo woke up before the sun because he heard unusual sounds from far away. They were not the normal noises of his field. It sounded like boots stepping on dry ground and soft jingling. Milo raised his ears, listened again, and felt curious. He stepped closer to the fence and saw a stranger walking near the edge of the field. The stranger was a cowboy named Sam. He was tall, kind-looking, and wore a wide hat with a faded band around it. His clothes were simple, and his boots carried dust from long journeys. Sam always traveled from town to town, helping ranchers and farmers with their animals. People trusted him because he understood animals better than most. His calm voice could settle even the most scared horse. His gentle hands could heal small injuries. Everyone said he had a soft heart for creatures who needed care. When Sam reached the fence, he smiled. He did not come inside yet. He simply stood and watched Milo with quiet eyes. Milo watched him too, unsure but curious. Sam slowly lifted his hand in a friendly way. He did not rush. He did not call loudly. He did not make any sudden move. Milo took a small step back, but Sam stayed still. The cowboy knew that trust was not something to be forced. It needed time. Rohan came out of the farmhouse, waving to Sam. They had planned to meet because Sam was visiting the area to check on different farms. Rohan talked about work and the animals he had. Sam pointed toward Milo and asked calmly if he could take a closer look. Rohan nodded and opened the gate. Milo felt his heart beat faster as Sam entered the field. He did not understand if this new man was safe or not. Sam walked with slow steps, keeping his voice soft. He crouched down, bringing himself to Milo's level so the little donkey would not feel threatened. Milo watched him closely, his ears shaking slightly. Sam placed his hat on the ground and held out his hand, allowing Milo to smell it first. Milo moved one small step forward. His nose touched Sam's hand, and he felt warmth instead of danger. Sam waited, not pushing for more. After a quiet moment, Sam gently touched Milo's cheek. Milo froze. No one had touched him with such tenderness before. The touch was light, patient, and warm. Milo blinked, unsure why his eyes were stinging with emotion. Sam whispered kind words that Milo could not understand but could somehow feel. Sam carefully checked Milo's legs, hooves, and back. He noticed that Milo was thinner than he should be. He also saw that Milo flinched every time he heard quick steps or a loud sound. Sam asked Rohan about Milo's routine, and Rohan simply explained that Milo was slow and did not work as hard as the other animals. Rohan sounded frustrated, but he did not seem cruel. He simply did not understand how sensitive the little donkey was. As Sam listened, he placed a gentle hand on Milo's neck. The small donkey leaned into it without even thinking. For the first time in his life, Milo felt a sense of comfort he had never known. He stood still, letting Sam pet him. Rohan noticed how easily Milo trusted Sam and looked a little surprised. When Sam finished his check, he spoke to Rohan in a calm tone. He said that Milo needed rest, better food, and gentle handling. He explained that Milo was not weak by nature but scared because of stress. Rohan had never thought about that before. He rubbed the back of his head and admitted he had been too busy to notice these details. Sam asked if he could spend more time with Milo. Rohan agreed, thinking it might help. Sam's presence was peaceful, and Milo felt drawn to it. Every moment with Sam felt different, safe, and warm. Milo followed Sam with soft steps, as if his heart already understood that this cowboy was not like anyone he had met before. As the day went on, clouds gathered above the valley, and a light wind moved through the field. Milo stayed close to Sam, almost hiding behind him whenever he heard a sudden noise. Sam noticed this and spoke kind words to calm him. He even placed a hand on Milo's forehead, feeling how the little donkey relaxed under his touch. That night, when Sam left the farm, Milo watched him walk away. Something inside Milo wished he would not leave. The field felt more lonely when Sam disappeared behind the hill. Milo looked at the stars again, but his heart felt heavier than before. He had finally met someone who understood him, and now that person was gone for the evening. Milo did not know that this meeting was only the beginning. Something big was coming. Something painful yet full of hope. And soon, everyone would learn the reason why Milo had run to the cowboy with such fear in his eyes. Milo woke up before dawn with a heavy feeling in his small chest. The sky was still dark, and the moon was slowly sinking behind the hills. The little donkey usually woke up slowly, but today he felt restless. His ears twitched at every sound, and his hooves shifted nervously on the soft ground. Something did not feel right, although he could not understand what it was. His heart kept beating faster than usual. Rohan came out early that morning, carrying tools and ropes. He looked rushed and tired. He gave Milo a quick look but did not notice the fear in the donkey's eyes. Rohan had planned a busy day. He wanted to move some old equipment across the field, and Milo was the only animal small enough to pull the cart through the narrow path. Rohan placed a light harness on Milo's back, but even this small weight made Milo nervous. He remembered the heavy loads from before. The memories of trying and failing made him feel weak again. Rohan did not mean to scare him, but his fast movements and loud sighs made Milo's body tremble. The donkey tried to stay calm, but he felt pressure building inside. He wanted Sam. He wanted the cowboy's calm voice and soft touch. Only Sam understood how to move slowly and gently. Milo wished Sam would return soon, but he had no idea when that would happen. As the sun rose, Rohan guided Milo toward the old cart by the storage shed. Milo pulled with all his strength, but the cart wheels were stiff because they had not been used in months. Rohan frowned, thinking Milo was just being lazy again. He walked around to adjust the ropes, but Milo stepped back in fear. Rohan's boots made loud sounds on the ground, and Milo thought something bad was about to happen. Rohan raised his hands to calm him, but Milo was already shaking. Rohan sighed and walked away to fix the wheel. Milo breathed out slowly, trying to relax, but the fear stayed inside him like a shadow he could not escape. Around midday, clouds covered the sky. A storm was forming far away, and a cold wind swept through the valley. Milo hated storms. Thunder always frightened him. Even the smallest rumble made him jump. Rohan worked harder to finish the job quickly before the rain came. Milo tried to follow every command, but his steps were clumsy because fear was tightening his muscles. Just when they were halfway across the field, a sharp noise came from the sky. A loud crack of thunder echoed through the valley. Milo's legs froze. His heart raced. His breaths became quick and shallow. The rope connecting him to the cart pulled at his body, and he panicked. He pulled back with all his strength, snapping the rope loose. Rohan called his name, but Milo could not hear anything clearly. The thunder rolled again, louder and stronger, and that was the moment Milo ran. He ran without direction. He ran without thinking. He ran because his fear took control of his entire body. His hooves beat against the ground in fast rhythm. The wind pushed against him, but he kept running. Raindrops started falling, making the ground slippery. Milo stumbled once but quickly stood again. He did not know where Rohan was. He did not know where he was going. He only knew he had to find safety. Then a sudden thought flashed in Milo's mind. It was the memory of Sam's gentle hands. Milo remembered the calm voice, the soft touch, the kindness he had never felt before. That memory lit a small spark of hope. Milo turned his body toward the hill where he had last seen Sam, walking away the previous day. He did not know if Sam was still nearby, but his heart told him to try. Rain poured harder, making the world blurry. Milo slipped again but kept moving. His ears laid flat from fear. Every thunder sound felt like the world shaking apart. The little donkey let out soft cries, calling for the only person he trusted. Sam had spent the night in a small cabin just beyond the hill. He was preparing his horse when he heard hooves rushing through the wet ground. He looked up and saw a small shape running toward him. As the shape came closer, Sam recognized Milo. The little donkey looked terrified. His fur was soaked, and his legs shook with every step. Sam ran toward him without a second thought. Milo tried to stop but slipped on the wet grass. Sam caught him gently, placing both hands on Milo's neck. The donkey pressed his head against Sam's chest, breathing fast and shaking all over. Sam whispered soft words and stroked Milo's back until the little body began to slow down. Sam could feel Milo's heartbeat racing, and he knew something serious had happened. Sam guided Milo into the cabin, away from the storm. He dried the donkey with an old blanket and gave him warm oats to calm his stomach. Milo stayed close to Sam, never stepping more than a few inches away from him. The cowboy noticed the fear in every movement Milo made. This was not normal fear. This was something deeper. When the storm ended, Sam took Milo outside for fresh air. They sat under a large tree while the wet grass glistened in the sunlight. Milo leaned against Sam, trusting him completely. Sam placed his hand on Milo's forehead and looked into his eyes. The cowboy could see pain there. Not physical pain, but a sadness that had built up for a long time. Sam decided something in that moment. He could not leave things the way they were. Milo needed help. Milo needed understanding. Milo needed protection. Sam knew that animals ran to safety only when they were too frightened to stay where they were. Rohan arrived at the cabin shortly after the storm. He looked worried and tired. When he saw Milo standing beside Sam, he let out a long breath of relief. He approached slowly, realizing something he had never noticed before. Milo was not just slow. He was scared. Truly scared. Sam explained gently what he believed. He told Rohan that Milo's fear was growing because he was sensitive and needed softer handling. Rohan listened carefully. His eyes grew thoughtful. He had never understood Milo's struggles. He had been so busy with work that he forgot animals had feelings too. Rohan ran his hand over Milo's back, and the donkey flinched. Sam placed a calm hand on Milo's neck to reassure him. Rohan saw this and felt something shift inside his heart. Milo trusted Sam more than anyone. That trust came from kindness. Rohan then said something Sam did not expect. He asked Sam if he could help Milo every day until the donkey healed. He admitted he did not know how to take care of such a sensitive animal. Sam agreed without hesitation. Milo stood between the two men, unaware that his life was about to change. He only knew one truth. He had run to the cowboy for safety because his heart was holding a secret pain that no one understood. The reason behind that pain was still hidden, and when it came out, it would bring tears even to the strongest hearts. The next morning began with a warm sunrise that painted the sky in soft colors. Birds were singing again after the storm, and the valley looked peaceful. But inside Milo's small heart, the storm had not fully ended. He still felt worry, still felt fear, and still stayed close to Sam as if stepping away might bring danger back. Sam noticed this and understood that the little donkey needed more than food and rest. He needed healing from the fear that followed him like a shadow. Sam led Milo to a calm corner near the cabin. There was a large tree with a wide trunk and soft grass under it. The wind moved slowly, brushing against Milo's fur. Sam sat down and let Milo stand close. The donkey lowered his head beside Sam, feeling safe near him. Sam gently touched Milo's neck and spoke in a soft voice, telling him he was safe now. Milo did not understand the words, but he felt the meaning through Sam's touch. Rohan arrived shortly after sunrise. He walked slowly and quietly because he did not want to disturb Milo. He saw the little donkey leaning against Sam and felt a mixture of sadness and guilt. For the first time, Rohan realized how deeply Milo trusted Sam and how much fear had been hiding behind Milo's quiet nature. Sam asked Rohan to sit with them. Rohan did, keeping his distance so Milo would not feel trapped. Sam began explaining the behavior he had noticed. He spoke calmly, describing how some animals were strong on the outside but gentle on the inside. He said Milo was one of those animals. He explained that sudden sounds, fast movements, and heavy tasks caused Milo to panic because he had a sensitive heart. Rohan looked down, thinking about all the times he had rushed through work without noticing Milo's fear. He remembered moments when Milo hesitated, and he misunderstood it as laziness. Rohan never wanted to hurt him, but now he understood that his way of working had scared the donkey even more. Sam asked Rohan a gentle question. He wanted to know if Milo had always been fearful or if something had happened in the past. Rohan paused. He thought back to when Milo first arrived at the farm. Milo had been small, even smaller than other young donkeys. He had come from a trader who was in a hurry and offered no information about the donkey's past. Rohan remembered that Milo had arrived trembling, tired, and quiet. At the time, Rohan believed Milo only needed food and rest. He never imagined there might be a deep story behind the little donkey's fears. Sam listened carefully. He placed his hand on Milo's back and spoke softly as if reassuring both Milo and Rohan. He said that Milo's fear did not come from one day or one mistake. It came from something older, something that happened before Rohan ever met him. Sam explained that animals like Milo carried memories inside them, memories that stayed even if they tried to forget. Rohan felt heaviness in his chest. He wished he had known earlier, but Sam reminded him that it was never too late to understand and change. Sam then decided to test something. He slowly reached for a rope, not to tie Milo, but to see how he reacted. He held the rope loosely in his hand, without moving it. Milo looked at it and immediately stepped back. His eyes grew wide, and his legs trembled. Sam dropped the rope at once. Milo had reacted as if the rope held a painful memory. Sam and Rohan exchanged a serious look. This reaction told them that the rope reminded Milo of something from his past. Something that was not gentle. Something that had left a mark on his heart. Sam crouched down to Milo's level again, touching his forehead gently. He told the donkey that he would not use the rope on him. Milo slowly relaxed, but his eyes showed fear that was still hidden inside. Sam knew that healing Milo would take patience. To help Milo feel safe again, Sam began teaching him small exercises. He wanted Milo to learn that not all movements were dangerous. Sam raised his hand slowly, then lowered it. He stepped forward gently, then stepped back. He touched Milo lightly, then gave him space. Each action was slow and peaceful. At first, Milo shook every time Sam moved. But over time, he realized that Sam was not going to hurt him. He started trusting the small actions. Rohan watched the training with silent admiration. Sam had a natural gift. His calm presence could settle even the most frightened animal. Rohan felt grateful that Sam was helping Milo. He decided that from now on he would learn how to handle Milo the same way Sam did. Later, Sam walked Milo around the small field near the cabin. He let Milo choose the pace, and Milo walked slowly, stopping often to look around. Sam never pulled, never pushed. He simply stayed by Milo's side. This was the first time Milo walked without fear since running away during the storm. As they walked, Sam told Rohan that Milo needed consistency. He needed time to trust again. He needed gentle routines each day. Sam promised he would visit often to help. Rohan agreed to follow every instruction. He wanted Milo to feel safe on his farm again. While they were talking, Milo stopped near a small pond. His reflection looked back at him. He saw a little donkey with worried eyes. He lowered his head into Sam's hand, seeking comfort. Sam stroked him again, and Rohan watched with a soft expression. Sam then made a discovery. When he placed his hand near Milo's shoulder, he felt a small bump under the fur. He checked carefully and found an old healed mark. It was not large, but it was enough to show that Milo had been hurt long ago. The mark explained many things. Milo's past had not been gentle. Someone had treated him harshly before he ever reached Rohan's farm. The fear in his heart was older than anyone knew. Rohan felt sadness when he saw the mark. He whispered an apology to Milo, not because he caused it, but because he never knew the little donkey carried such a painful memory. Sam placed his arm around Milo and spoke softly. He told Rohan that the mark was old and healed physically, but the emotional memory stayed inside Milo. That was the reason Milo had run to the cowboy during the storm. He was not only scared of thunder. He was scared of the past coming back. He was scared of being hurt again. This truth hit both men deeply. Milo stood between them, unaware of the full meaning, but he felt the soft emotions around him. Both Sam and Rohan cared for him now. Both wanted to protect him. Sam looked at Rohan and said one thing with certainty. He said that Milo needed love, safety, and time. If they gave him that, the little donkey would slowly heal. Rohan nodded, promising to change his ways for Milo. The sun began to set, casting a warm glow around them. Milo lay down beside Sam, resting for the first time without fear. His eyes closed slowly, and his breathing became gentle. Sam watched over him with a warm smile. Rohan sat quietly nearby, feeling grateful and hopeful. The secret of Milo's fear had started to come out. But there was still something deeper waiting to be discovered. Something that would bring tears to anyone who heard it. The morning air was cool and fresh as light spread across the valley. Milo woke up beside Sam's cabin, stretching his small legs slowly. His body felt tired, but his heart felt a little lighter than before. Sam walked out with a bucket of warm oats and placed it near Milo. The little donkey gently nuzzled Sam's hand before eating. This simple moment showed how much trust had grown in just a short time. Rohan arrived soon after, carrying fresh hay and vegetables. He approached carefully so Milo would not get startled. Milo looked up, hesitated a little, then relaxed when he saw Sam beside him. Rohan placed the food down and smiled softly. He was trying his best to show kindness now, and Milo noticed the change. The little donkey did not step back as he used to. Sam suggested they take Milo for a calm walk around the valley. The air was clear after the storm, and the grass was soft under their feet. Milo walked between Sam and Rohan, moving slowly but without fear. The sun warmed his back as birds chirped above them. For the first time since the storm, Milo felt the world around him without shaking inside. As they walked, Sam continued his plan to help Milo heal. He wanted Milo to connect positive feelings with movement, touch, and sound. Every time a leaf rustled or a bird flew close, Sam reassured him with a gentle voice. Rohan learned from watching, copying Sam's calm tone and soft steps. Milo slowly understood that he was safe with both of them. They reached a quiet spot under a group of old trees. Sam told Rohan this was a good place to let Milo rest and explore. Milo sniffed the ground, rubbed his head against a tree trunk, and even tried to nibble on some tall grass. His movements were small, but they showed progress. Sam sat on a fallen log and asked Rohan to sit with him. Milo stayed close, pressing his side against Sam's leg. Sam placed a hand on Milo's neck and spoke gently. He explained that Milo's fear came from more than the old mark they had discovered. The mark showed pain, but Milo's reaction to ropes, sudden sounds, and storms suggested something much deeper. Sam believed Milo had once been in a place where he felt threatened often. A place where he did not get comfort or protection. Rohan listened with a heavy heart. He had always thought Milo was just shy. He never imagined the donkey carried such painful memories. Sam continued speaking in his quiet voice. He said that animals remembered the way they were treated even if their bodies healed. Milo's mind still expected danger. That was why he ran during the storm. He thought the loud sound meant harm was coming. And he ran to Sam because he remembered the kindness he had felt from the cowboy. Rohan lowered his head. He wished he could go back in time and give Milo a gentler start. But Sam reminded him that the important thing was what they did now. Milo had 2 people who cared for him. That alone could rewrite his future. As they sat under the trees, a soft breeze passed through the valley. Milo lifted his head and looked toward the far hills. Sam noticed he was staring at a place in the distance. Milo's ears tilted forward, and his eyes grew thoughtful. It was as if something familiar had caught his attention. Sam stood up slowly and walked with Milo toward the small rise in the field. From there, they could see the edge of an abandoned old barn far away. The barn looked broken and unused. The roof had holes, and the wooden walls were faded by time. Rohan said that barn used to belong to an older farmer who had moved away years earlier. No one had gone there in a long time. But Milo kept staring at that barn with a deep sadness in his eyes. Sam felt Milo's body tense. He placed his hand gently on the donkey's shoulder to calm him. Milo leaned against Sam as if remembering something painful. Sam understood at once. That barn was connected to Milo's past. Without rushing, Sam asked Rohan if they could walk closer to the barn. Rohan agreed. They moved slowly so Milo would not panic. The donkey walked hesitantly but did not run. He trusted Sam's presence. As they approached the barn, Milo's steps grew smaller. His breathing became faster. He stopped several times, unsure if he should continue. Sam knelt beside him, whispering softly and giving him time. Milo looked at Sam with scared eyes, then took another step, trusting the cowboy more than his own fear. When they reached the barn entrance, Milo froze. He lowered his head and pressed it against Sam's chest. Sam wrapped his arms around the little donkey's neck, comforting him. Rohan watched with concern. It was clear now that Milo had been here before. This place held memories that had shaped his fear. They entered slowly. The inside of the barn was quiet. Dust covered the old floor. Sunlight came through cracks in the wood, creating thin lines of light. But despite the peaceful scene, Milo trembled. He walked toward a corner on his own, as if guided by a memory he did not want to face. Sam and Rohan followed behind. Milo stopped at a small wooden post. The rope marks on the post were old, but still visible. Milo lowered his head and touched the wood gently. His body shook as if remembering something painful. Sam's eyes softened with understanding. This was where Milo had once been tied for long hours. This was where he learned fear for the first time. Rohan placed a hand over his mouth. He felt tears gather in his eyes. He finally understood why Milo reacted the way he did. The little donkey had once been left alone in this cold corner, tied and frightened. No one had comforted him. No one had given him warmth. And storms back then must have scared him even more because he had no way to run. Sam knelt beside Milo again and placed both hands on his cheeks. He spoke softly, telling him that those days were gone. He told him that he had a new life now. Milo closed his eyes and leaned into Sam, letting the warmth replace the cold memories. Rohan stepped close, his voice low and sincere. He told Milo he would never face fear alone again. He promised to change, to learn, to care. Milo looked at him with gentle eyes, no longer stepping back but standing still with trust beginning to grow again. In that old barn, the truth came out. The reason behind Milo's fear was finally understood. The little donkey had not run to the cowboy because of the thunder alone. He ran because the fear of his past returned, and Sam was the only person who made him feel safe. The wind blew softly through the broken walls, almost like it was giving Milo a fresh breath of hope. His past was painful, but now he had people who wanted to protect him. The sun rose slowly over the valley, spreading warm light across the fields. The old barn behind them stood quiet, as if it had released the heavy memories it had carried for years. Milo walked out with small but steady steps. His eyes still showed sadness, but there was also a gentle hope inside them now. Sam walked on his left, Rohan on his right. For the first time, Milo did not feel alone between them. Sam knew that understanding Milo's past was only the first step. Healing would take time. But he also knew something important. When an animal finally feels seen and understood, the path to healing becomes brighter. Milo had opened the door to his past, and now it was time to open the door to his new life. Rohan wiped his eyes quietly. He tried not to show his emotion, but Sam had seen it. Rohan had changed deeply. He was no longer the impatient man who rushed through work without noticing Milo's fear. The truth about the donkey's past had touched him, and it had changed the way he looked at the world. He promised himself that Milo would never face fear alone again. They walked back toward the cabin. Milo stayed close to Sam, brushing his side lightly against the cowboy's leg every few steps. Sam stroked his neck from time to time, giving silent reassurance. Rohan followed carefully, giving Milo space but staying near enough to show he cared. The valley felt calm, almost as if nature itself wanted to help the little donkey heal. Sam suggested spending the day slowly. No training, no walking too far, no heavy tasks. Milo needed rest and comfort. They settled under the big tree near the cabin, where the grass was soft. Sam sat down and Milo lay beside him. Rohan sat across from them. The three of them shared a peaceful silence for a while. Sam then spoke gently. He told Rohan that healing Milo would not happen in a single day. It would happen in small moments each day. A soft voice instead of a loud one. A slow step instead of a fast one. A gentle touch instead of a rushed command. He explained that every small act of kindness would help Milo trust the world again. Rohan nodded slowly. He was ready to learn. He asked Sam to teach him how to move, speak, and work with Milo in a way that created comfort, not fear. Sam agreed with a warm smile. Milo raised his head and looked at both men. He did not understand the words, but he understood the feeling. These two humans were here for him now. Sam began by showing Rohan simple steps. He moved his hand slowly and let Milo see it before touching him. He walked forward and then stopped, telling Rohan to watch Milo's breathing. When Milo relaxed, Sam rewarded him with a gentle pat. Rohan practiced the same steps, copying Sam's motions. He approached Milo with calm energy, and Milo accepted it. This was progress. The day passed with gentle exercises, quiet moments, and soft conversations. Milo's eyes grew softer, and his body no longer shook every time someone moved. Sam noticed the change and felt proud. Rohan felt grateful that Milo was giving him a second chance. Even the birds in the trees seemed to watch quietly, as if they approved of the healing happening beneath their branches. Later in the afternoon, Sam decided to take Milo for a short walk again. This time, Rohan joined them side by side. Milo walked gently between them. When a leaf rustled suddenly, Milo stopped, but Sam touched his neck lightly and he relaxed. Rohan watched how quickly Milo responded to Sam and understood the lesson. He spoke softly to Milo, saying he was proud of him. Milo took a small step toward Rohan and brushed his nose against his hand. Rohan froze, touched by this simple gesture. Sam smiled because he knew that moment meant trust was growing. When they returned to the cabin, Rohan asked Sam a question that had been in his heart all day. He asked if Milo could stay with Sam for a while until he healed more. Rohan believed that Sam had a gift for calming animals, and he wanted Milo to have the best care possible. He was willing to visit every day and learn, but he wanted Milo to feel safe always. Sam looked at Milo, then at Rohan. He understood Rohan's concern and his sincerity. He did not want to take Milo away from his home, but he also knew that Milo needed steady comfort. After thinking for a moment, Sam suggested a better idea. He said he would stay at the farm for a few weeks instead. That way Milo could heal without leaving the place he knew. Rohan felt relief and agreed immediately. The next few weeks changed everything for Milo. Sam stayed near the farm, helping Milo every day. He taught Rohan how to speak softly, how to touch gently, and how to work slowly so that Milo felt safe. Each day Milo grew stronger. His eyes became brighter, his steps became steadier, and his trust grew deeper. He learned that not all ropes were dangerous, that not all sounds meant harm, and that storms were not monsters from the past. He learned that he had people to protect him now. One evening, dark clouds gathered again. Thunder rumbled in the distance. Milo lifted his head, ears tightening. The old fear tried to rise inside him. But Sam walked to his side and placed a hand on his neck. Rohan stood on the other side with a calm smile. Milo felt their presence and relaxed. The thunder rolled across the valley, but this time Milo did not run. He stood between the two men who cared for him, safe and protected. This moment made Sam and Rohan smile proudly. It was the sign they had been hoping for. The next morning, the valley looked fresh after the storm. The sun warmed the fields, and Milo ran playfully for the first time. He kicked his small legs in the air, not in fear but in joy. Sam laughed, and Rohan clapped his hands. Milo looked back at them with bright eyes, as if thanking them for giving him a new life. Rohan promised Sam that he would always care for Milo with patience and kindness. Sam was proud of how much Rohan had changed. He knew Milo was in good hands now. Before leaving the valley a few days later, Sam spent one last morning with Milo, feeding him oats and brushing his fur. Milo nuzzled Sam's chest gently, showing love in the only way he knew. Sam hugged him softly and whispered that he would visit again. Milo stayed close to Rohan, watching Sam ride away. But this time, Milo did not feel scared when Sam left. He felt strong, brave, and safe. Milo had found his place. He had found people who cared. His past still existed, but it no longer controlled him. His heart carried new memories now. Memories of kindness, healing, and trust. The scared little donkey who once ran to the cowboy for safety had become a symbol of hope. And the reason that once brought tears was now the beginning of a beautiful new life filled with love and peace. If you want, I can also create a full combined story, a summary, or a continuation.